Hey, I'm going to give a demo over how to do some geode tie-dyeing, which can look like this with these rings in individual spots. That comes from tying the shirt with a wax sinew thread, so it leaves these sort of white organic markings that can look like a geode rock. And then I'm going to go over how I made this design in Procreate and how I screen printed that on there very briefly. You can also get a design like this that I do often with these rings that kind of just repeat. You can do that in a lot of different ways, but I'm going to go over a couple of those. A 100% cotton white t-shirt, pair of rubber gloves, some tie-dye powder, this is the kind I use, a PVC bucket, cookie tray, and some wax sinew thread, as well as some soda ash. This is optional, can help the colors kind of pop out a bit more. So now we'll go on to the wrapping portion of the tie-dyeing process. So now you'll need your wax sinew and a pair of scissors to cut it off at the end. So I've done a couple here, and I'll kind of show you how we get to this. So I'll cut that. So we have just one end here. What you want to do is lay your shirt out completely flat on one side, and just find a spot where you want to bunch it up. And it doesn't really matter where you start, you just want to make sure each one is in a different location, and you'll get about 4 or 5 of these if you grab both sides of the shirt. So you can get more if you grab just one side and then do both sides individually, but we're just going to do both sides at once so we don't have to do as many. So I'm going to show this arm here. You just want to grab with your hands spread out and then pull up, and then with another hand bunch it up. And the more uneven, kind of the more zigzaggy you grab, that is how the line will look. So once I've done that, I kind of have this bunch here. I'm going to grab the sinew, and I'm just going to make a knot, just a simple pretzel knot on one side. So we tie that off, and once that's tied, we're going to start wrapping. So the wrapping process, I'm going to go around 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and then pull it as tight as you can without breaking the wax. And then we'll do it once more. 1, 2, 3, 4, pull tight. You just want to try to land in the same spot every time you wrap around. And we're going to go down about 1 inch, kind of make sure that's still bunched up. Go down, wrap again, 2, 3, 4 times, pull tight, and then again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and pull tight. And then we'll repeat the same thing. You don't have to cut it every time you do one of these. You can just kind of find the next spot you want to do. I'm going to go kind of close, and we'll just do 1 tie this time. So I'm going to go down about 1 inch from where I grabbed. It's right where my finger is. I'm going to wrap around 1, 2, 3, 4, and pull really tight again. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, pull really tight. And then once I've done that through the rest of the shirt, you can just go ahead and cut it. and then move on to the dyeing process. Okay, so for the dyeing portion, you'll want to put on your rubber gloves so to not stain your hands. I usually move everything outside so I don't get any powder anywhere inside. A couple extra things that I usually use but you don't necessarily need are some sort of cardboard container. So we use this to keep in the ice. And what I do with this is usually rip as even as I can. Here. Not very well this time, but rip down the middle, one side, and then lengthwise rip it as well. So you get something like this. It's just like a long piece of cardboard. Then you grab your shirt. It's all tied up. I just kind of bunch it up a little bit. Just place it in the center of the bucket with the cookie rack over it. And then we grab our cardboard piece. And I wrap it around as tight as I can go in a circle. And that's a little tall. So I'm going to actually rip this piece in half again. It's a bit thinner so you can see what I'm doing. So there you go, a little bit thinner. And I just secure that with a clip. On one side, just like that. And you will now need your powder as well. I've got a couple different colors here. I'm going to use pale aqua, which is not a very strong color, so we'll probably use quite a bit of that. And then just a sky blue, and then lemon yellow. So now I'm going to just grab a spoon. Any kind is fine. I just use one I don't really care about so much. It's going to get powder all over it. And then I'm going to go in with my blue first. Just a little bit on there. And I'm just going to keep a little bit all over the place. Just so there's some in different spots. So that's about good for the blue. And then here's the aqua color. See, it looks a bit more green. That one I'm going to use a bit more of. This one's starting to get a bit chunky. Go in there in a few spots. Add as much as you like. And then same thing for yellow. Kind of see that pigment there. Just like paints, these powders mix together so you can make as many secondaries as you want. There will probably be some greens that will happen from these mixing on the shirt. Do another one. You don't need a ton of powder, but just enough to cover all parts of the shirt. I'm going to do a little bit more actually. So I just spilled some all over the place. This is why I do it outside. I'm pretty messy. Okay. Now I take my gloves off because I don't want to get powder on my ice trays. I've got a couple ice trays here. We've got a smaller one, smaller cubes, and then one with bigger cubes. So we get a little bit of variation and how it melts. So I'm going to put the smaller cubes down first. It doesn't really matter where. You just want it to be completely covered in ice. Another nice thing about doing this outside is that the sun makes the melting process go just a bit faster. Whoops. So it doesn't take super long. Okay, and here I am designing a logo in Procreate for my band, The Little Green Men. And I'm going to expose this onto a screen and then screen print it onto the shirt. Okay, let me just get some screen printing ink on the inside of that screen. Let me just lay a pretty generous amount over. Get some on the squeegee here, and we do something called flooding the screen, where we just kind of pull it through just to get enough to cover the image. And get it to go all the way through. There we go. So it looks like that. And we press it down against the shirt. And pull the squeegee across. Do about 2 or 3 times. And there you go. You can see it's a little faded down there. Might go back over with a Posca marker, but there you go.